Darlings, you need to become the CFO of your life and start to manage your money like a business. This is so important because in becoming that girl, you need to have money in the bank. I can't sugarcoat this for you. Over here, there are no religious spirits and poverty is not a virtue. It is important that you actually manage your finances like you have got the world's best CEO operating them. And this will allow you to take some pressure off of life. Money is a defense. God said money is a defense. And we're going to share some tips in order to ensure that you start to actually manage your money like a chief financial officer. It will change your finances. And if you put these principles in place, you will start to see the additional zeros added to your bank account. And in the comments, do share any tips that you actually implement and that you've seen the results of. So, number 1, businesses go bankrupt because they don't track their expenses. Your finances may look in a bad shape because you do not track your expenses. A successful multi-million, multi-billion pound business tracks its expenses. They can know at the pull of a spreadsheet, at the pull of a Power BI report, how much they've spent, what their income is, what their fixed expenses are. Let me give you an idea of what you need to track as that girl. Number 1, your total income. You need to know to the exact pence on a spreadsheet, how much is it that you make. Pull all your income together and add what the total income is. If you only have one stream of income, don't worry, I have got you later on in this chat. Fixed expenses. What are the expenses that you must spend regardless? So that might look like your rent, your mortgage, your water bill, your light bill. What are your fixed monthly expenses that are non-negotiables? Then you need to look at your variable expenses. What are the things that you currently spend money on that you are choosing to spend money on? You are choosing to give your money to someone else on an item that you may not necessarily need. This can go from anything to Netflix. This can go, and yes, your nails, your lashes, your laser treatments, your microneedling, all of that are expenses that you are choosing to do. Then you need to look at, if you have a category of debt, you need to know what your total debt is. You also need to know what is in your savings and investments, what's a total. And these are the things that you should be tracking every single month. I highly recommend, if you're not doing so, have a Finance Friday monthly meeting with yourself at least, whereby you sit down with yourself and you have a full understanding of your numbers. I always say God is so meticulous. God is so meticulous. God knows exactly when the arks and everything was built, how many wooden beams, how many shekels of silver, how many shekels of gold. Be very precise when it comes to your money. Stop leaving it to chance, because actually that's what the world wants you to do. It wants you to not have the proper checks and balances in place so that you put yourself at risk with no financial defense. So set yourself a date. This should be fun. Get a glass, grab some coffee, grab whatever you fancy, and actually have a financial date with yourself. If there are any girlies that currently do this, do let me know in the comments. I do love a good financial date. Number 2, you need a reserve fund. The multi-million and billion-pound businesses that do not go bankrupt, their CFOs have made sure that they have a good reserve fund. If you look at the book of Genesis, the reason the house of Pharaoh grew rich under Joseph is the reserve fund. Many women are not able to successfully become that girl due to a lack of reserve fund. You need to have an amount in your bank account that is just actually sitting there. And I'm not saying have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. Absolutely not, because that should be an investment. But there should be a certain amount which is a reserve fund. You should never put yourself in the position to be one check away from the house of cards falling down. That does not make sense. If you don't currently have a reserve fund, I would personally recommend that you do build a reserve fund. I'm not a financial advisor, but money is a defense. And if that defense barrier is not there and it's non-existent, when the flood comes, God can save you. But he did also warn you, money is a defense. So build the defense barrier by actually having a reserve fund. And this is something that you have to be very intentional and very deliberate about. There is no emergency apart from you being homeless or something drastic happening for you to touch that reserve fund. Or holiday, nails, a spa trip, all of that, a new car is not part of the reserve fund. That's not a life or everything is over situation. This is so key. House of Joseph also shows us the reserve fund actually enables you to get investment opportunities. What you see in the book of Genesis is when the recession comes, do you know why rich people get richer? When the recession comes, they have a reserve fund to be able to buy assets that are on sale. A recession, the one thing, if you haven't taken from the book of Genesis, a recession is just the world on sale. If you go back to that story, the famine was just the world on sale. People had to sell their assets for cheap so that they could survive. This happens in every single recession. So do position yourself where you can take advantage of shares, land, etc. This is one of my biggest go-to things, making sure I have a reserve fund so when the world is on sale, I'm in a position to take advantage of it. Number 3. My darlings, you need multiple streams of income. Any good CFO that's running a business is always asking the business, how can we make more money, one, from what we're currently doing, and secondly, how can we diversify our pool and streams of income? The first thing, if you're a girlie in a 9-to-5, go and ask for more money. Go pray to God first, because I always ask God for anything I want first before I ask any human being. Pray to God first, then go and ask for more money. And this is really key. And remember, you are not a tree. You are not a tree. If you're not being paid correctly, if you're not being treated well in that 9-to-5, you're not a tree. Go and look for the opportunity whereby you can increase the income based on your skill and talent. Because remember, you are selling your skill and talent. You are the business. So sell it at the best price. Once you have increased the existing stream of income, you then need to do, because the CFO always says, well, how can we make more money doing what we do? And then how can we diversify our streams of income? How can we add to this? I want to help everyone to understand Google. I do love Google because imagine the whole Google has about 7 to 8 streams of income. So, darling, Google's a £1 billion company. Google is a £1 billion company. So if Google has so much money, why are you not looking to add new streams of income? And in the background, they're actually currently looking to build more streams of income. Google is owned by Alphabet. They've got Google Search, they've got YouTube ads, they've got Google Cloud, they've got Google Workplace, they've got subscriptions including Premium YouTube Music, etc. Really sit with yourself and think, how can you add additional streams of income? I would say go for the easiest route. The easiest route means 2 things. 1, what are you actually good at? What are you good at doing? That's your starting point. And the second thing, what you need to do when you're adding additional streams of income, don't make it complicated. Don't add streams of income that need high time intensive and high capital intensive. You should start in building streams of income that are low time intensive and low capital intensive and start from there. You don't want to add a stream of income that requires you to work 24 hours a day. That doesn't make sense. It's not going to give you freedom. So things like digital products, yes, you're going to need to spend time building an audience, etc. before selling that. Things like selling stuff on Etsy, selling stuff on Depop, because then all you need to do is do the audience building, let people know, then you can start to build that source of income. Even look at real estate, but remember, with real estate, you are not bound by where you live. The world is open. Go and buy land where you can afford to buy land and where you actually know the rules, the regulations, the people. I always say for my girlies who are tied to the African diaspora, please go and invest back home. Wherever your back home is, South Africa, Cameroon, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, you have an advantage that you're actually not making use of. Then you got to take the emotion. CFOs, do you know why CFOs are ruthless? They take the emotion out of actually making companies wealthy. When I was thinking about this, I realised there are two things that don't need emotion: God and money. And what I mean by that, you should serve God whether you're sad, whether you're upset, whether you're happy, whether it's raining, whether it's sunny. Every single day, regardless of your circumstances, you need to pray to your Maker. You need to seek his face at all times. And this is so important. God cannot be your fair weather father. That's the same with money. Most women are bad with finances because they put too much emotion into money. You spend when you're sad, you spend when you're happy, you spend. Money is based on emotion. Your money needs to be automated. Your money, God is your master, but your money, you need to be the master of money. That's the difference. You need to be the master of money, and you need to make sure that regardless of your emotion, your money is doing exactly what it needs to do. Some of you, money is in control of you. You are not in control of money. What I highly recommend, what changed my personal finances, I automate everything. I automate absolutely everything. Investments, I automate it all. So the emotion is taken out of it. It is going to do what it needs to do, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, when I'm having a good day or a bad day. This will make such a big difference to you actually managing your money like a CFO and managing your money like an actual business. I also think it's so important to make sure that you're spending your money based on your values. I had, by the way, I'm going to share this. My biggest realization to myself is I don't like to spend my own money on eating out in restaurants. Like, point blank. My money that I make, I completely think it is a waste of time. It's been spent on eating out in restaurants. It's a complete waste for me. Whilst I will fully pay for a 5-star hotel. I will fully pay for a business class flight. I will fully pay for those things because that's what I value. I also don't value buying, I don't value buying 3 or 4 pairs of shoes every month. It is not aligned with my value. But I know what my values are and what I value spending. I actively encourage you to make sure your money is actually doing the things that it needs to do for the lifestyle that you value and you want. You might be a woman whereby actually you can lay your head down in a 1-star hotel. That is absolutely okay. No judgment for me. It couldn't be me, but no judgment. And you do value going to eat out in a 5-star hotel, a 5-star restaurant with your money. Spend your money according to your value and what you actually enjoy. This is so key. And this means that you stop being pressured by social media to buy junk and be forced into consumerism. And then you're actually not creating the actual life that you want and your money isn't going where you actually want it to be. There are some questions that I think it's so important to ask if you're going to be treating your money like a CFO, like a business. Where is your money going? Is your money that you're spending adding value to your life? What expenses do you currently have that you have no business having? Are you spending more than you earn? That is a very important question. I would also say, last but not least, a CFO is always looking to reduce debt. If you have debt, you need to become a good CFO in your life and actively look to reduce it. Debt makes you a slave. I can't sugarcoat this for you because that is going to go against the word of God. Elijah and the widow, debt will make you a slave. So it's so important for you to get that debt in order and get it checked, get it in place, minimize it to the balance of 0. Do also let me know in the comments if there are any CFO tips and tricks that you can share with the girlies to help them improve their finances, because a woman with money she just moves differently. A woman with money moves differently. It will save you from traumatic relationships. It will save you from jobs that actually have expired their time. It will allow you to have opportunities and experiences. So becoming that girl has to be get your money up.